Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this very chilly Thursday morning. At least it's chilly if you're in Michigan or Ohio. And I've gotten reports out of Florida that they're actually even chilly themselves. So, welcome to the call today. We do have an exciting announcement to make that I hope that you're all very excited about. And of course, we're telling our ASC's admins and managers first before it hits the agents on Monday. But first, I would like, if you could, to click your hand on your little GoToWebinar control panel if you've ever been frustrated with the amount of spam and storage issues that we currently have on our email system. Go ahead and just raise your hands. Let's see how many hands we can get raised. So while you guys are doing that, I'll quickly explain. We are currently with Rackspace. So all of our at CB Great Lakes, at CB Schmidt, Ohio, and at cbsmfl.com and cbparadise.com are all on Rackspace. And we know there's spam, we get hacked, we have struggled with storage issues, and it's just kind of been a nightmare for the last 2 years. Well, I see a lot of hands up, so I know that you all share the frustration that we've also had ourselves. So what we're doing is we are migrating all of our emails over to Google, to G Suite. So what that means for your agents is they're not going to lose their email address. We're still going to have first name dot last name at CB Great Lakes, CB Schmidt, Ohio, CBSMFL, and CB Paradise, but it's going to be a Gmail going forward. They are going to be able to migrate their inboxes, so any email that they currently have as storage. We know a lot of agencies email to CYA, as do we as staff, so all of those emails will be migrated over. When we first migrate, they're only going to migrate 6 months worth, just because of the timelines, which I'll talk about in a moment. But eventually all of the email address, or all of the old emails stored in the inboxes will migrate over. So this is kind of exciting news. It is going to be a few steps that we have to navigate in order for all of this to happen. So what we will be doing is we are pairing with a company called Highview, and they are helping us do this migration. So going forward, we're going to notify the agents that we'll be doing this. And for any of you that had a little bit of a nightmare with coldwellbanker.com when they switched over to Outlook, we're very comfortable with this company, and we've kind of talked through some of those concerns, and they have promised us it's going to be a lot smoother transition. So I really do believe that they are dialed into this. They've migrated real estate companies before, so they really do know what they're doing. So let me just show you a few things. What we're looking at here is what they do have is, you can see in the upper left corner, it's completely branded to us. We have our own training site. So as we navigate through this, our agents have someplace they can go to learn about all the new tools that we have available and how to do this migration. You can see right here, JD Waldvogel has been instrumental in helping with this migration, and he is on the team to be available for tech support as well. So himself, me, and a few other key people, along with the team at Highview, will be here along the way to help everybody transition with this migration over to G Suite. So a lot of your agents already use Gmail, and they have that opportunity to continue to use their personal Gmail if they would like. Any agent that has their company email on a forward, they'll be able to continue to forward it if they choose. However, with the increased security and storage of G Suite, they may decide to not have it on a forward and continue to use their company email. So what's going to happen when we migrate? So what we do is we have a few people called early adopters, which is mostly managers, ASCs, and admins, and they're going to migrate first. So we can work out the kinks before we really get into the meat of migrating the agents. So we'll be communicating with what they're calling the early adopters, or a Google Guide. We'll be communicating with you soon because we're going to migrate you over first. So what this means is you'll no longer go to webmail, or you'll no longer have your Outlook. You will be using Gmail online. And of course, Google Chrome, because it's Google, works better with Gmail. You don't have to worry about doing anything today. This is simply the announcement going forward of what we're going to be doing. So you can see there's a training site, which is great. Your agents will have all the support they need. We will be migrating over all of the current emails in the inbox. The one thing that we're going to be doing is contacts and calendars currently in webmail will need to be manually migrated over to the new system. So we're going to be running webinars, we'll be running hands-on workshops in order to help migrate that stuff over manually, because contacts and calendars will not automatically come over like the emails will. So again, look forward to all that training that will be coming down. Also, we have an email that's going to be going out shortly called a conflict resolution email. And I'm going to pull that up on the screen right now. And I do see there's a question, so I'll go through this and then I'll answer any questions at the end. So if you have an agent or yourself or a manager that has perhaps a YouTube account, or they've used it for Google Drive, if they have used their company email, so keep in mind that CB Great Lakes, CB Schmidt, Ohio, CBSMFL, and CB Paradise, if they have an account like YouTube, Casa, or Google Drive using that as the username, there will be a conflict when they go to migrate. However, this email will go out to them because HighView knows who those people are, and they'll have a chance to make sure that that account is resolved before the migration. So this first announcement email will go out to them explaining what they need to do, and then they'll get a secondary email where they just click, 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 and that conflict will be resolved. They won't necessarily lose any of their information. It will help them tie their two accounts together because G Suite already sees them as being an account user because they've used that email address to sign up. But because we're pulling them under the umbrella of the company, they'll need to resolve that conflict. So if any questions come up at that time, once your agent gets this email to notify them of that, then we can work through that at that time. But it is pretty painless, and as you can see, it really walks them through the entire process with this email. This information will also be found on the training site as well. So let me jump over and see what the questions are. Yes, Tony out of Petoskey. That's a good point. Anybody that wants to be an early adopter, if you want to be a G Suite guide, shoot me an email and let me know. I have marked all of our managers and ASCs and admins as early adopters, but it's always good to reach out just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So what you'll see here is a very long spreadsheet of all of our people in every region, except for Paradise. We haven't gotten your information yet, but we will. And what we do is we go through and we mark which ones are guides. So absolutely reach out to me and I will make sure that you're a guide if you would like to be. Sarah asked contacts and what? I'm not quite sure what that question is, Sarah. But contacts and calendar, if they were using a webmail calendar, those will not come over manually. Those will have to be done. I'm sorry, they will not come over automatically. They will manually have to be exported out of webmail and imported into Gmail. So I hope that answered that question, but if not, feel free to type it out. Another question from Doug is, if you already forward your CB Great Lakes email account to a Gmail account, do you have to do anything? No, Doug, you won't have to worry about migrating anything, but once the migration happens, we just need to go back in and forward that email one more time. So it'll be a real quick, painless thing. You just log into CB Great Lakes via G Suite one time, put your forward back on, and then you won't have to worry about it. So that's a great question. And we'll make sure the communication goes forward with that as we go forward. Yes, calendars. Calendars and contacts manually will be exported. Another question from Daniela is, if we're using a Google Calendar and are already using the Google platform with Sheets, Docs, and Drive, will it all integrate into the new G Suite? If you're using that on your personal account, Daniela, it will not integrate into your CB Great Lakes account. You would have two accounts essentially. But with Google Chrome profiles, there is a way to use both. I personally have been on G Suite since last February when we went to schmidtfamilyofcompanies.com, and I have my personal Gmail that I use. So there is a possibility of using both, but they won't integrate your personal account with the company account. Patty asked if there will be a G Suite link on Online Office. Yes, there will be when we get ready to roll that. We'll link it through schmidtresources.com. But essentially, you just go to gmail.com, username and password, and you're in. But we'll make sure that those links are readily available. Courtney asked, will the G Suite login be a branded login page or branded Gmail page so that agents with personal Gmail accounts can tell the difference? So no, it's not necessarily branded, Courtney. What you can see here from my account is I have this Schmidt family of companies, which is our G Suite, which is the parent one that all the other emails will come in over with. Then you can see I have my personal account, and then I have some other accounts. So they can toggle back and forth based on which account they want to be in. So you have that opportunity to go back and forth. But the login itself is not necessarily branded. It's gmail.com for everything. So I hope that answered that. Mike asked if the offices have a shared Google Drive. They use it in Gaylord now, but the account is limited to 15 gigs, and that fills up fast. Yes, Mike. So any staff, managers, ASCs, admins will all have the business account with G Suite, which Google Drive will be available along with a lot of their other products like Meet and Hangouts. So yes, any staff will have the ability to have that. Samantha asked if it changes anything if agents are using coldwellbanker.com email. That is a separate issue. They did migrate over to Outlook, Samantha. So if they're using Coldwell Banker, all we have to do is make sure their CB Great Lakes gets put back on that forward after the migration. It does not replace Online Office as of today, Samantha. But as you all know, we have been migrating a lot of our tools over to schmidtresources.com because it is a lot more user-friendly. Online Office as of now is not going away. But again, schmidtresources.com is where you want to visit for the most up-to-date information. Great questions. Keep them coming. That's the last one I see for now, but if you have any further ones, go ahead and type them out. I will say timeline. We will be notifying the agents via Blue Matter Monday on Monday. So they will be notified that this is coming down. Early adopters are going to have their emails start migrating in March. And then company-wide, Michigan, Ohio, Florida, East Coast, and West Coast, we're shooting for a target of April 1st for all of the migration to occur. Now keep in mind, this is a process. The early adopters will go first. We'll work through some of those kinks. We'll then migrate the rest of the company over, and we will work with each agent to make sure that their information has been migrated over properly. So again, we're notifying the agents. Those conflict account announcement will go out for anybody that affects. And then after all of that is done, our early adopters will migrate. And early adopters are in every region. It's not just Michigan or Ohio or Florida. Every region will have early adopters. And then after those kinks are worked through, we'll go ahead and launch the entire company on G Suite. Rackspace, which again is our current provider, will essentially go away. And then all the email historically that the agents have in their inboxes will be migrated over to Gmail. But keep in mind, we're only going to migrate 6 months of email first, and that's simply because the migration tool can take time. And we all know with the amount of data that we have company-wide that's sitting in Rackspace, it could take time. So the communication what we want to have with the agents is this is a great new product. It's safer, it's more secure, you have more storage, and you have the added tools that Google G Suite provides. So we know that there may be a few hiccups in the process, but with the company of Highview and their training and JD's support and the support that I and the other ASCs and admins can provide, we really do feel this will be painless for the agents and provide them an added value with the product. Oh, thanks, Samantha. JD, Samantha would like you to know that you're doing a great job with Schmidt Resources. So thanks for that shout out. Katie asked, what if agents don't want to migrate to Gmail? Well, Rackspace does go away, Katie. So essentially they will still have their email address at cbgreatlakes.com for you because you're in Michigan as well. So they don't have to migrate if they don't choose to. They can put that right back on a forward. So if they're forwarding it today, they can go ahead and re-forward that from the G Suite system, and then they'll continue to get their email wherever they would like to. Courtney asked if I can email the predicted timeline when it's ready to be shared, and it would really help to give the agents a clear idea. That's a great idea, Courtney. I will do that. Let me switch over. This is Highview's, which again is the company. This is their action steps. You can see it's quite complicated and cumbersome, and I'm not going to send this out because it is just too much information that you guys don't need to worry about. But what I will do is I will do the bullet points and the highlights of that timeline, and I'll get that sent out to everyone so that you can share that with your agents. That's a great suggestion, Courtney. Okay, well, In wrapping, I hope you're all as excited as I am. Another spam email came out yesterday out of CB Paradise. They're on Rackspace as well, so it just makes more sense to make this transition. It's the way that the industry is going, with wire fraud and everything. We really need to make sure that we are securing our agents' information and our clients' information. So we're super excited that we have this opportunity to make this migration. So I really appreciate all the time that you guys have spent with me this morning. As always, reach out to myself or to JD after the fact if you have any questions. As we wait just another moment to see if we have questions, I am going to go ahead and unmute JD just to see if there's anything I might have missed that he would like to add. You are unmuted, JD.
I'm here.
You're here.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
All right. Snowed in, but if you hear a dog in the background, that's on me. No, you covered most of it. I mean, I'm just really excited because not only is it the safer and the wire fraud, and that's a huge thing for us right now, but honestly, the platform itself is just so much easier to use than the Rackspace webmail account. It's actually updated to the 21st century. The features themselves are great. So I'm more excited just about being on the G Suite platform. See, there's that dog already. But also the training materials that Highview have created, they've been so intense with what they've been sending us, and the training materials are great. The site is great. Every guide that they give us to go over is very clear, step by step. So I think, and there's always going to be hiccups because agents are going to be frustrated because of just the change in general. But I do think they are doing as much prep as they possibly can to make this a seamless and easy transition. And I think as long as we do our due diligence and making sure our agents feel as comfortable as possible, it'll go smoothly. So I'm really excited because it's a great platform and they're doing a great job of transitioning. But yeah, like the site says there in big, huge letters, email us if you have any questions.
Right, absolutely. And one other thing I did forget to point out that I will mention now is the BombBomb edition that Gmail has. So any of your agents on BombBomb, there is actually the BombBomb widget that will track all email, not just the BombBomb emails, but all email to see if the end user opened the email, if they read it, when they read it. So it's another good tracking system that your agents can utilize that right now we can't provide that with BombBomb and Rackspace.
I would keep getting a lot of questions during the BombBomb rollout of, does this integrate with webmail? And we already knew this G Suite thing was coming, so I kept saying, not yet, but soon something cool will happen. So yeah, this integrates. I mean, I have it right into my Gmail, and it's so simple and easy to use. So just another added bonus.
Yep, absolutely. And we did have another question from Mark, and the question is, will the email address change? It will not. Your agents will still have first name dot last name at cbgreatlakes.com or CB Schmidt Ohio or CBSMFL or CB Paradise. That will not go away. The change for your agents will be how they log in. They will no longer go to webmail to log in. They'll go to Gmail to log in. So great question. And Jessica asked if we still have access to our CB Great Lakes until it's fully migrated. So essentially, yes, Jessica, as an ASC, you will be as an RSC, you will be an early adopter. So you will be accessing your email via Gmail, but your Rackspace account won't go away until we fully migrate over in April. So that's a great question as well. I will say that we had a little hiccup with passwords, and for a hot second, we thought we were going to have to reset everybody's password. Thankfully, yesterday we found out that's not the case. So your agent's passwords won't even need to change. It'll stay the same as what they utilize today to access online office or webmail. I just found out you can't hear me and audio went out. So if Jade, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, a bit.
Okay.
No, it wasn't just me.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So we, I'm sorry, that made me lose my train of thought. We, will be in communication on this going forward. Again, this is a value proposition. We really want to communicate with the agents that we're not just doing this to wreak havoc on their systems. We're really doing this because of the added value of security and storage and the platform that Google can offer us. So we are excited to have this coming out in the near future. I will get that bulleted point timeline out to everybody so that they have that available. And then we will move forward with announcing it to the agents on Monday in Blue Matters. We will ask the managers to share that in their sales meetings next week. Again, the communication is that it's exciting and that we do have a great company with Highview. They have a full team. I mean, they have 5 people that are dedicated to this process. So we really, going forward, are very comfortable in this and how much more it'll be great for our agents.